Welcome to Dropping Diamonds with me, AJ Andrews, where we dive headfirst into the world of softball. Today, we are joined by my bella, Erika Piancastelli, for those that don't know, my beautiful in Italian, my beauty in Italian. I spent some
I was
time
good.
in
You
Italy.
said that real well. Yeah.
Thank you. Erika Piancastelli, she is an Olympian member of Team Italia. She's a Mizuno fast pitch athlete, and she also goes out and plays in Mexico. Also, if you just were to see out of the corner of your eye the best thing you ever seen in your life, it's probably her. Ladies and gentlemen, Erika Piancastelli.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
I'm so excited to talk all the things with you because I don't know, I just think you're the coolest.
I appreciate that.
Before I start my podcast, I typically start with a quote and an affirmation. And so a quote that I kind of started for us today is, "It takes the same amount of energy to create a negative thought as it does to create a good one. Pick the good." What do you feel like is a good
I love that.
affirmation we can kind of grasp from that quote?
Man, I think it being the second day of the year, we can start going with just being grateful for another year and all the opportunities that we're about to receive this year. I'm excited for just a new chapter and a fresh start and just being the healthiest version we can be in 2026.
Heck yeah. Okay, I think in regards to being abundant, the best version we can be this year, our affirmation, I like to rhyme. So affirmation will be, "Today I choose to turn each negative thought to a positive. Good energy is all I have to give. And an abundant life I'm about to live."
I love that. I don't know how you do that so quick. I love that.
And I need to make I'm gonna make like a wrap. I'm gonna make a end of the year, like a recap and a full wrap of all the affirmations.
Just do a little Spotify playlist and put it on repeat.
A Dropping Diamonds, just a little play. Actually, we should look into that, Tari. Anyway, Erika, is there a quote or like an affirmation that you've really kind of lived by throughout your career that's helped you throughout the tough days, the long days that are inevitably bound to come with softball?
There's many quotes that I think I resonate with, but the one that I always seem to fall back on, especially on the hard days, is the quote where it's like, it's never work when you're doing something that you love. I don't know exactly what like word for word it was, but it was like, you can do a job and work, and if you don't love it, it feels like work. But when you're doing something that you're passionate about, it never is going to feel like work. And to me, that's what softball is. It's my job. And on the hard days, it feels like a job. But I'm so passionate about it that I'm able to just push through and realize how lucky I am to be doing this instead of a typical 9 to 5.
Oh, I love that. Because it's so easy in those moments when it gets hard to complain or to feel like, oh, I'd rather do or be anywhere else right now than here. And it kind of brings you back to your center of, gosh, how lucky am I to be doing something I actually love, though? How lucky am I? And then there was one thing that just kind of reminded me of that is, at any given moment, you're living one of your dreams. You're living one of your prayers.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so it's just, a reminder to be thankful during the hard days.
I actually just recently saw that one, and I remember sitting there like reading that and being like, dang, if I just like 10 years ago would have thought that I'd be where I am today, my mind would be blown. So it's always a good thing to remind yourself of.
Why do you think your mind would be blown? What is right now, this moment you feel like it's like, oh, heck yeah, I'm doing this. Younger Erika would be like, yeah, girl.
Well, one, the Tokyo Olympics, that will forever be something that's going to blow my mind. But even just recently going to the Bahamas for the Home Run Derby with Players Alliance, to me, was such a wow moment because I was in the Bahamas hitting home runs. Like, who gets to do that? And it was just such a cool, amazing experience, and being able to be surrounded by so many legends and so many amazing people, and to feel like I belonged in that space, I think was the biggest wow moment for me. I never would have thought that 10 years ago, to be doing what I'm doing right now and to be traveling the world and still playing at this age and still getting better and better every single time and just putting on a show and hitting home runs. And it's just not something you really think about when you're thinking ahead?
Putting on a show and hitting home runs, I feel like needs to be like your moniker. Like that is what Erika Piancastelli hits home runs. It's like that's what I do. And the home run derby that Erika is talking about, it takes place in the Bahamas every year. Major League and minor league baseball players come down to Nassau, Bahamas to hit home runs on the sand into the water for the Don't Blink Home Run Derby, tied in with also Players Alliance. And this year it was the first year that they had women hitting home runs. And I was a part of trying to find amazing women to come out to the Bahamas. And I remember like a year ago or 2 years ago, I remember seeing Erica comment under one of the derby posts. It's like, yeah, you guys should have girls come hit or something. You said something along the lines of like, girls can do it too. You need to bring us out. Da, da.
I think I said like, where the women at?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Erica, you're right. Here we go. Erica, what are you doing December, whatever, through whatever? And she comes out. And when I tell you, you had everybody's jaw. I mean, I already knew what it looks like to watch you hit. But everybody that was unfamiliar was just like, wow. They wanted you to go up against the boys. So like I'm pretty sure she could take she could be the overall winner. We don't even have to split it into softball and baseball. For you, that experience, talk about it being a wow moment and feeling included. What was maybe one of the bigger moments or where you felt like, wow, I not only am I accepted here, but I'm low-key praised.
Yeah. Definitely during my first round, I think I had a really good first round and I was nervous going in. It's just like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of big names and I want to do good and I want to perform and swing my best. And when I was up there just swinging and hearing everybody's reaction in the back, I think is what like confirmed it for me. But just being on that stage and being able to put on a show and just have really good results and feel super calm. I've never felt calm in a home run derby. I'm usually a little nervous, which is normal, a little anxious until I get started, but I felt calm the whole time. I was just like, I feel like I belong here. And just being able to, hear the praise in the back just definitely boosted my confidence for the next round and the round after that. But it's just my biggest thing for me in any softball space is, or why I love being in a baseball space as a softball player is just reiterating the fact that women can do it too, and that women are athletes, and that we can do a lot of things that are slowly being more aware to the men, but they just don't realize how good we can actually be. And being able to hear that praise from men and from MLB players, and just being able to be like, I've been trying to tell you guys, and it's just like being able to put it out there and actually perform that way, I think was the biggest wow moment for me. Is like, okay, I proved it, and now I think people really understand that. Because not only me, every single woman out there that was a part of the home run derby was just putting on a show. And being able to even witness just the comments that the men were making, I was like, this is a good step for us, because I like that there's a difference between softball and baseball. It is two different things, but I don't want to keep hearing conversations of, well, men do it better, or men can do this and women can't, because we can do the exact same thing on the exact same stage. And one day I would love to compete with the men and just kind of make that an exciting thing and see how that goes.
I love that you say that because it would be an exciting thing because she'd probably win, y'all. Like, not
Some
even
people
like
might get
no
their
tea, no
feelings
shade.
hurt.
No tea, no shade. She would probably win. But speaking of the people that were there that were had their money on you. Now, mind you, Charlize Palacios, Silent Ray Espinoza, and Morgan Howe also competed, and they did amazing. But it came down to the two finalists, and it was Morgan Howe and it was Erika Piancastelli. I went around and asked a bunch of the MLB guys who they got. And Mo had a lot of people that had it on her, but so did Erica. Cece Sabathia was one of the big names that had his money on her. Chris Young was another one of those names that had their money on her. And so, I mean, it was just Erica. I don't know. You came out, and other people that are out there, Gary Sheffield, Eric Davis, and we had a lot of support from Major League Baseball players that we're once again reiterating what we already knew. The girls
Mhm.
do it big, and we do it, I won't say better, but we do it really good up there. You
Yeah,
know what
we
I mean?
do.
Yeah. I mean, dare I say better? Dare I say better? What do you feel like is the lesson in that? Going up and showcasing your skill sets, to your point, literally on the same exact stage. You also competed in Home Run Derby X, where you did the same thing, competing again with and against men, and you showcased your skill set. You are one of the women continuing to pave the way for young girls to know that they are truly limitless.
I think for me, it's just, yeah, pushing that limit and creating those spaces. We can't just keep waiting to get invited to those. It's just, I want to be a part of the conversation. I want to be where the men are. I believe that we deserve to be where the men are and that we put in the same amount of work and the same amount of training, especially as athletes. And I think the biggest moment for me where I realized that to keep pushing the limit was, I think 2 years ago, I started working out at Exos, which was it's a pretty well-known training facility for NFL, and then also MLB players that live in Arizona for spring training will go and train there. And I wanted to bring my training to the next level, and I wanted to be training with the big names, and so I decided to, I guess, invest in myself, and go to Exos. And I was the first softball player they've ever had there, and then one of the only women training with the men. And at first it was super intimidating, and I felt like I didn't belong because I think everyone was just like, who's this? Like, why is she here? But the minute I started to train and the minute I started to just be the athletic person that I am and move the way that they did, I think the respect was there and they just kind of welcomed me as one of their own and one of the other guys. And that's where I realized we just have to enter the room and then we'll get respected and we'll get our spot at the table. And being able to do that and go through every single workout and keeping up with the guys and hearing from them like, whoa, like, you actually make us better. You're pushing us because we want to go as hard as you go. I think hearing that then just allowed me to be like, okay, I now feel more comfortable going on stage with and competing against men or going to events and being maybe one of the few women athletes there. And it just gives you that confidence of, it's just more in your head. I think as women, I think we're in our heads of, will we even be like talked to? Will we be liked? Will they respect us at all? But it's, yeah, once you show up, I think you prove to them that you belong exactly in the same space.
Not only do we belong in those spaces, but it's almost like we pave our own way there. Because to your point of being able to train with guys, I've gone out and trained with football players working for the combine before and was the only woman doing it. And I was with like Ryan Clark, for those that may know, he used to put on something in Baton Rouge and used to train with a lot of them. And it was always like, not only was I keeping up, I was faster than some of them. I was able to move weight better than some of them. And maybe their stuff was heavier, but like, as far as what we could both deal with, it was the same, right? And then
Mhm.
I'm moving that kind of weight. But when we talk about setting like our own lane, I hope for young girls like watching you and watching women in any capacity go out and dominate, whether it's against men, against other women, or against themselves, is to showcase that, to your point, you just have to show up. Like, as soon as you show up, you are now paving the path to what could be greatness, to whether it's a man or a woman is watching you for as an example. And when you think about you paving your own path and how you've been able to be example, maybe just for yourself, your younger self, what do you feel like is the path that you are currently paving? What would you name it?
I don't know. I would just,
That girl
man,
can't
that,
touch
yeah.
me. I don't know what you've seen, but you
I
never seen
like,
this before.
I like that girl. I mean, that's what I feel like right now, especially having been in those spaces more and more. I do feel like, yeah, like I'm that girl. I'm that girl that's keeping up. I'm that girl that's pushing the limits. I do feel that when I'm in at those events or doing those type of derbies. And I mean, personally for me, you've been a huge role model in that. Just even seeing you doing MLB stuff and being on TV and just, again, being the only woman that you see in those events and being able to just hold yourself to such a high standard is like, I see that and then I get my confidence to do the same thing. And now, I don't think I can be on TV or talk in front of people like that. I don't have I don't have that confidence, but I do like to perform and I do like to swing it and prove to myself if I can do it as well. I think the biggest thing is it's a competition with myself is can I put my money where I'm talking about? Can I do what I say I can do, and can I prove to myself that I can compete with the men? So at the end of the day, it's also a little game with myself, and it's how far can I actually hit this ball? How hard can I throw this? Can I lift what they're lifting, or can I move the way they're lifting? Can I beat them by 1 second? And I think the competitive person that I am, the athlete that I am, I think that's what helps me stay motivated and continue to enter those rooms.
For those that don't know, yes, Erica is Italian, but like truly, she was born in Italy. Born in Italy, moved to California.
Truly.
Because, we were like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Italian. I was like, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, okay. She was born in Italy and moved to California when she was 5 years old. And growing up, having to learn two different languages, two different cultures, confidence is something that I imagine is something that you've had to really establish at a young age. How have you been able to establish that confidence and then maintain it, especially in a world that is doing its best to knock confidence out of women left and right?
Man, it's been hard. I was never the confident girl. I was very shy. I was very soft spoken, very quiet, kind of in my corner growing up. I don't like attention a lot. I didn't like to be in the front of the room. I didn't like speaking. I was very, very shy. And I think once I got to college and I started to figure myself out and realize like who I am, who I want to be, and then not only that, but on the field, I also started to perform, and I was growing into my body and realizing how strong I could be and how powerful I can be. I think that's really when the confidence started to hit. And then it just grows and grows the more I play and the more experience that I get in this game. But it's it's hard to maintain, as in there's so many moments in our sport, and you talk about this all the time too, is our sport is a game of failure. And I think there's so many moments in our sport where the confidence is fake. We have to fake it to make it. I guess that's the quote everyone says, but you truly do have moments where you don't feel confident at all. But in order to play this game and in order to be successful in this game, you have to have that confidence and you have to have that swag and you have to be true to yourself when you're playing. I think the older I get, now I kind of know I can get there quicker. Maybe on the days that I'm not as confident, I know exactly how to maybe fake it a little quicker to get there. But confidence is a huge thing, and you only get that by, again, doing these experiences and stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing things that maybe you thought would hold yourself back. But then the minute you do it, you're like, whoa, you just get this confidence boost of like, I can do it. I can be a part of this. I can put on a show with the men. Like, that's such a huge confidence boost from me. And then from there, I just keep trying to build and build.
So I read something once and it talked about like those nerves you get when you're about to do something new or something that you've never done before. It is not because you're incapable, it's because your future self is excited to finally meet you. Like it's like your future self is already doing that thing, right? And so it's like now you're finally getting there. So it's just your future self is excited to meet you, and that's the excitement. We interpret as nerves, but it's really an indication that we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and we just have to keep going.
Yeah, I saw that similar quote, but it's like when you get nervous or your heart starts racing, it's think of it as like your inner self clapping you on.
Oh, I love
And
that.
the minute I read that, I was like, that's so true. It's just
Yeah,
like they're just like little claps, like
yeah.
they're trying to tell you to keep going. So
It's such a perspective change, isn't it? Like, and
it
so
is.
interesting how you could just read one thing and be like, "Huh, well, that just changed my brain chemistry. Thank you, random person on
Hmm.
the internet. Appreciate
And that's
that.
why I
Needed
love
it."
that's the one positive thing of social media is the
Yeah.
things that you can learn from it.
Well, that confidence that you had, I'm surprised I'm not seeing the "Don't Blink" chain
Oh,
that she won. Oh, it's right there.
funny you say that. I have it.
I literally
I
wait, show
have
it to
it
the
on my
camera.
stand.
Can you put it on? Look at that is what she won for winning. She was the inaugural Don't Blink home run champion. I was wearing that all day long until I had to hand it over to Erika. I was so sad. No, it was, I wasn't really sad, but I was like, oh my God, this looks so cool.
It looked great on you. I was like, well, look at that. Look at AJ with the chain.
Look at it, but it looks better on you. You deserve it more than I do. I have to show you. This is a surprise. It's gonna be so cute. Okay. Well, the confidence that Erika has, and talk about the support system that she has within it. One of her supporters was at the home run derby with her wonderful boyfriend. And anyway, I recorded his response.
I'm just a fly on the wall. It's crazy to see, and it's amazing. She's gonna keep doing her thing, tuning into women's sports.
How proud of you are? How proud are you?
Oh, super, extremely proud of her. She's always working, always out there hustling, 24/7. It's just in her blood.
Why does Stelli deserve this win?
She absolutely deserves it. All the hard work, and the spirit that she puts into this sport, everything that she gives to it, to her teammates, to herself, to her family, it's amazing to watch, and I'm just happy to be part of it. Amen.
And what does she mean to you? If you could give me the biggest shout out, what would it sound like?
Absolutely. She's my world. She's my heart. I love her. That's my girl. Love you, E.
Oh my gosh.
Shat baby.
Why did that make me emotional? He's so cute. He's so cute.
He was the sweetest. He was there the whole time cheering on. I was just watching him watch you as you were getting presented as the winner. And that's when I was like, tell me how you feel.
No, he's truly like one of the biggest reasons like I am where I am, especially in these last couple of years. It's like being a professional athlete, not only in softball, but you always feel alone, as in your training, you're alone, your journey, you're kind of alone. And then having him always pushing me, always by my side, always excited for me and supporting me and coming to visit me and being able to travel and come watch me play. I feel like he's my constant, besides my parents, he's my constant person. And I can always go to him on the good days, on the bad days. And I think having that has helped me so much, especially in the downs that this sport brings. It's been really beautiful to have someone that I could share that with and not be judged or not kind of pushed to the side about it. Is he just takes it all in and just knows exactly what to say and how to make me feel. And seeing him at the derby, I think that someone sent me a picture of him recording me while I was swinging, but he was so into it. And I was like, that's my baby. That's my man. Oh, he's so cute.
I love. One day. Anyway. No, but it truly is. It's so special to be able to share those moments with someone that really gets it. And I love how one of the things he said in the video is like, watch women's sports, right? It's so cool when like you have someone that not only supports you as a woman in sports, but wants you to dominate and is so proud of you when you do. Your parents also, people that have been there from the start, wanted to help you dominate. I mean, they both played at a high level. Your mom competed in the Olympics, your dad in baseball. I mean, if there was one person destined to be successful, it sounds like it's you. What are some of the things you've learned from them?
So much. I mean, they're amazing people, but they have been so patient and so calm with me and my journey, and they've made it a point that it's my journey. It's how I want to do things. It's my timing, and they don't force things on me. And growing up, they've never forced softball on me. It was something I chose to do. And you would think, having two parents that have played baseball and softball, that would be like, oh, my daughter has to play. But for them, it's like, pick a sport, whatever sport you want to play, we'll support you. And I tried multiple sports, but at the end of the day, it was me. I was like, no, Mom, I want to be like you. I want to play softball. And then in that, they just pushed me every single day. And I think it was nice to be able to have people that understood exactly what I was going through, especially leading up to the Olympics in Tokyo. Having my mom at my side and being able to ask her all the questions. It's like having a book with all the answers.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Right,
You had a live
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT before ChatGPT.
Right. And she was just like, yeah, I mean, she would tell me her experiences, and she would just prepare me for what was to come, even just going there. Obviously, our experiences are different, and my Olympics was completely different, as in it was during COVID, so we didn't have the fans, we didn't have the same atmosphere that my mom had, but just being able to know that at any given moment I can go to her and ask her about something, or vent to her about something, or maybe the days that I just feel like I'm not good enough, that she's understands exactly, be like, oh, I felt that same way. And it's just having that reassurance has helped so much. And again, they just have been so patient and so happy, and they're always excited for anything I do. I could literally say, hey mom, tomorrow I'm going to go give a softball to a 5-year-old that I don't know, and my mom will act like it's the Olympics in Los Angeles. Like, we just qualified for the Olympics in Los Angeles. Like, they're so excited for every little thing that I do. And yeah, they're my biggest supporters in life in general.
I love that. You being able to have that kind of support system is truly unlike any other, because to your point, it can get very lonely being a professional athlete, being an Olympian, being in these positions where you're literally the top of the top. We say it gets lonely at the top. It's a very true statement. And for you getting to the top of the Olympics in Tokyo, take me back to the moment when you were competing with Team Italy and you qualify. The team qualifies, you realize probably one of your lifelong dreams is being realized, and you're going to the Olympics. What was the emotions?
So funny thing is, the week of the qualifiers, we had a game every single day, and the bus ride going to the field, I would cry by myself, obviously in my seat, every single time, just thinking about the moment of like, if we qualify, like I would get so emotional about it, that's how excited I was and felt ready for that moment. But then the minute it happens, I'm like, I'm gonna bawl. I know I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. I'm gonna cry. It's gonna be a beautiful moment. And then you just see me with the biggest smile on my face, no tears. Like, my eyes were completely dry. I was just smiling and laughing and just yelling the whole time. And I, like a little girl in a candy shop. That's what it felt like. And I didn't get the tears that I wanted, but I think I just had them early on. But it was such a special moment, because I knew that the team that we had in that moment, the team that qualified, the things that we went through as a team and the ups and downs, especially as softball in Italy is not a huge sport. So every single day we're fighting for recognition, we're fighting for the chances, we're fighting for money, we're fighting for just opportunities to get the same respect in the sports world in Italy. And being able to prove so many people wrong in that moment and qualify for an Olympics was so surreal, so beautiful. And then I had my parents were obviously there. And so seeing my mom in the stands too, I think was the super special moment, because it's like, okay, you did it, now I did it. And I think just having that connection in that moment was super beautiful. And again, I guess I just don't cry when things are super excited. I cry leading up to it, but everyone was in tears and I'm over here just like so excited. But it was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
You cried it all out. I was like, listen, I had all my tears came out in preparation for this moment. You were
My
meeting
tears
your
came out
future
5 games
self.
ago.
Yes.
Exactly.
You knew what was happening. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this out the way so I can just be happy
Right.
for the pictures. That'd be
For
my
the pictures, I
mentality.
was the only one looking great for the pictures.
Oh, I mean, and that was the first time softball had been back in the Olympics, that Olympics 2020. And it was just like a crazy, crazy year, I
Great.
imagine.
I still am baffled with how that went down, but yes, crazy
How
year.
how did it go down? I mean, it's COVID for everyone know COVID. It's the restrictions are nuts. We're all wearing face masks everywhere. Can't really have fans in certain elements, certain places. You're all the way in Tokyo, Japan. How was the experience of the Olympics that year?
It started with when COVID first happened, and they initially canceled the Olympics. And so in that moment, I remember being in lockdown in Italy. It was super strict in Italy at the time. And I hadn't left my apartment in 2 months. We're over here just like trying to keep working out because we still think the Olympics were going to happen. And then on TV, they're like, oh, the Olympics are canceled. and they might get postponed or they might just be canceled indefinitely. And so in that moment, you're like, the one time softball gets put back in the Olympics, the one time Italy qualifies, and we might not even get to go. So I think that started the journey of what are we doing? And then when they confirmed it for another year, it was like, okay, we get a whole another year. You have to stay motivated for another year. You have to keep grinding for another year. You have to keep doing the Olympic training. I mean, Olympic training or training for anything really, but training at a high level, it's a lot on your body. It's a lot mentally, and having to almost be at the finish line and then have to do a whole nother year of that when you weren't prepared for that, I think was the hardest thing. But then when you get there and you soak it all, it's all worth it. I mean, you get there, you're surrounded by the most amazing athletes from all over the world. The cafeteria, I think the biggest thing I always talk about is the cafeteria, because it was just a free-for-all. So you enter the cafeteria and there's 5,000 athletes just eating together from all types of, playing all types of sports from different countries. You see like different plates, people that had to carb up and people that maybe had to eat lighter. And it was just an amazing thing to be like, wow, I'm one of the few athletes that actually get to go and on this stage and be playing at this level. And it was just a pinch me moment every single day. Every single day you're in the village. I think the hardest thing was playing with no fans. But for me, I think it was hard just because I knew what the experience was like, talking to my mom and hearing her emotions with it and how those experiences were. I had that kind of in the back of my mind already. So having that movie in my head and then going there and it being a completely different movie was the hardest thing. But again, I wouldn't trade that whole experience for the world. It's a once in a lifetime experience, and I don't think any other Olympics will ever be like that. So it's nice to be able to be one of the few, I guess.
You're definitely gonna have a unique experience compared to any
Right.
other Olympian, more than likely, which,
Right.
will always make you special. In that cafeteria, I know, like, you obviously don't care because you have a boyfriend or whatever, but the for the single ladies, what, sport would you probably whose table might you wanna join?
Oh, sport. All of the, I mean, there is not one person that was not athletic in that room. I think
Athletic and, yeah, cute
good
and,
looking.
top and,
I might be biased, but the Italian table looked pretty good. I love the Italian table. Argentina had a good table as well. But there's lots of good tables. Lots of good tables to sit at.
Oh, that's so funny. I just imagine a scene in Mean Girls, and that's what, like, the cafeteria looks
Just
like
walking
for
through and
the
just looking.
yeah. Those are the this, those are the that. That's the Argentina table. Mm, okay, just don't tell me I
Yeah.
can't sit with y'all. That's it. That's all I want. Olympics, making it to the highest level, but it all started at good old in Lake Charles, Louisiana, at McNeese University. And the people in
Yes,
Louisiana
ma'am.
call it McNeese. They don't say McNeese.
Magnes.
If you didn't go to McNeese, you probably say McNeese, but if you did, it's McNeese for those that don't know.
Yeah.
McNeese Cowgirls. What an experience was that like going from all the way from California to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and playing. Also, just to note what she's accomplished at McNeese. She holds 3 McNeese career records: a home run record, RBI record, and record in walks, because that many people did not want her to hit a home run, so they just walked her. She also holds 3 McNeese single season records. Again, home runs, runs scored, and of course walks. Going from across the country to small town Lake Charles and making the impact that you did, what do you feel like McNeese, how important was McNeese to your softball story?
The most important step, I think, for me, McNeese is where I figured out who I was. I figured out what player I wanted to be, and I had the right people around me to push me to get there. I think McNeese was where I became the athlete that I am. I think I always had the fundamentals. I always had, the things my parents taught me, and they taught me a lot. But McNeese was my chance to grow by myself and to make the changes that I needed to make at the pace that I wanted to make them. And my coach, Coach James Landrenew, he's a huge mentor for me. Still to this day, my biggest supporter, also just always texting me and always checking in and seeing where I'm at. And I think he was the one that always knew how to push me to take that one extra step and to take that one extra rep or to go 1% harder. He was the one that knew how to do that for me and just gave me that confidence of you can keep playing after college. And he was the first person to really put the seed in my head of professional softball. I always growing up, for me, softball was just always fun. I've always wanted to play. It's where my friends are. I enjoyed it every single second, but I never actually took the time to be like, oh, what can I actually do with this sport? I don't think it was talked about a lot. And having my parents also coming from Italy, they don't really know how it works in the States. They're just going with it, like play softball. And so when he planted that seed in my head and showed me like, you have the talent, you have the work ethic, you can really do something and keep playing if you love it. I think that was the moment I was like, you know what? I could keep playing. I could keep doing this. I want to keep getting better. This isn't where I want to end my softball career. And having his support through all 4 years has been amazing. And yes, I had a lot of success at McNeese, but I also grew a lot and was humbled a lot. And Coach James was the first person to kind of reel me back in and be like, this is what you're doing, but this is where you want to get to. And so I think he helped me a lot, like really take in that success and keep growing from it and not be content with what I was doing and always want to get better. And he's the one that taught me the leg kick. So a lot of credit goes to him, to my career and in having that beautiful swing. But yeah, McNeese was a huge, huge, huge part of my journey and of me getting to where I am today.
Can you break down like why was he incorporated the leg kick? Because I mean, I'm gonna drop a video in here for you guys to have a visual, but Stelli's swing is, I mean, think Griffey type stuff. Like she just has a very pretty swing and it's just so powerful and it does damage every time. And I'm curious of the invention of the Stelli swing and why was he wanted to implement that?
It was so random. He was talking to a bunch of baseball guys and they had brought up the leg kick, and he's very experimental. He wants to try things. He wants to try every drill and just kind of see where we're at and what we think about it, how we like it. And he got, I think, all the power hitters that we had. It was my freshman year, and I think it was 5 or 6 of us power hitters, or who he thought would become power hitters. And he's like, okay, you guys, I have a leg kick I want you guys to try. Today, go all out, really try it, and then let me know if you like it. If you don't like it, we'll just let it go. I was the only one in the group that actually understood the leg kick and it actually helped my power a lot in that moment. And so after that day, it was just me with the leg kick, and the other girls kept their normal swing, which worked for them. But for me, the whole time at McNeese was like an experimental leg kick. Every time we were just analyzing it and how we can make it better and how it was helping my power and how it was helping me gain more power and load more in my swing. And I just kept it. I didn't know how to not swing like that anymore. But if you notice, if I were to pull up videos from all 4 of my years, every year the leg kick changed. It was a different style or a different type of leg kick. There was always just some growth with my leg kick. And I think that's what I love the most about it, is it's so adaptable, and he allowed me to become adaptable with it. It wasn't just like a certain style that I had to do for all 4 years. He was very allowed me to kind of be myself and be free with my swing. And it helped me my whole career. I mean, I was known for the leg kick in my whole professional career. Unfortunately, now I do not have a leg kick anymore. I'm always changing. I'm always adapting. I'm always trying to understand what my body needs at the time, getting older and timing changing and all that. So I've adapted my swing a lot, but it's all thanks to the leg kick that he taught me, that I'm able to understand what my body needs and how I can maximize power with my swing.
Throughout learning about your swing and how it changes throughout the years, what is it that you are searching for? Like when you're making these different changes to your swing, what is it that allows you to settle on, okay, yes, this is what I need. This is the change. Is it based off of the pitching that you're getting? Is it based off of what you've been struggling with? Like how do you determine when you want to make a change?
I think initially it was always power. I wanted to feel strong. I wanted to feel like my ball was exploding off the bat. But I think now with more experience, and I've been in the pro space for a couple of years now, and my body's changing and I'm getting older. I think for me right now, the biggest aha moment that I have when I hit is what position can I get to where I'm consistent and grounded and I can copy my swing the same way every single time and feel like I'm getting the power numbers that I want. And I think that right now is the feeling that I'm searching for. Is I want to feel like I'm in control of every single body part when I'm swinging. And when I was younger, it was more like, I want to be strong, I want to be powerful, I want to do whatever it takes. But now I think with the maturity that has come with my experience, I want to be a tough out. I want to be able to compete in the box and be able to cover so much of the plate that people don't know what to pitch to me. And in order for me to do that, I have to be in control of my swing and be in control of my body and be able to be grounded. And having found that now, I'm just as explosive and just as confident in my swing as I was my freshman year of college with my first year of leg kick. And I think that's the beautiful thing about our sport, is that there's constant changes and there's constantly ways to improve. And I think every year I'm searching for, how can I get 1% better? How can I get 1% stronger? How can I handle the outside pitch just one pitch more than usual? Like, how can I always be better? And I think that's always something that I'm striving for at the end of my season for that year.
How can I always be better, but also have like the insane power that you have? You post a lot of the drills that you work towards on your social media. What do you feel like out of those drills is maybe the one that allows you to really feel and feel the most grounded to feel that power?
I think any drill where it's very much emphasis on my legs is where I feel the most power. The most time I spend with my feet on the ground and using my legs, that's where all my power comes from. And I do a lot of drills that really force that down movement with my knee and just being in my legs and really using my hamstrings and my quads and my glutes. That's when I feel strong. And I think right now, the biggest thing, if I have to say one thing about my swing, is just my lower half working and making sure that it's constantly working. Even when I'm tired or when my legs are tired or when I'm fatigued, I want my lower half to always be working.
It just came to me. I remember talking with Coach James. It was years ago. I used to go and do some camps at McNeese, and someone I used to date, who we don't have to mention, was coached by him. So we would like have conversations often. And so I remember one time he was talking about you specifically, and I think it was this exact story. You said how he went and gave a bunch of you guys to go do the leg kick. And the way he framed it was that you were the only one really willing to be flexible about trying it. And like the other girls didn't really want to embrace it at all. And his whole thing was like, he had a conversation with everybody saying the person that has the best stats, the best swing, is doing all the things she can, is the one person that is willing to change. He's like, if you like her being this example of someone that is coachable, I don't know if there's a better example, because most people are like, I am the best hitter on this team. I have the highest average. Why would you want to change me? But you didn't have that mentality at all. It was all about being coachable and doing what you could to, yes, I'm good, but how can I be better? Having that type of mentality, how do you feel like that is what allows you to keep getting better? Because it's easy to just say, I don't want to do that.
I think that part of my mentality and just how I do things is my biggest strength, but also my biggest weakness. And it's up to me to find that fine line of am I changing to get better, or am I so addicted to the change and striving to get better that I'm changing something that doesn't need to be changed? I think that's the fine line that I have to figure out a lot every single time I'm training, is figuring out what is it that I actually need to change and what can I keep for now. And in college, it was so easy. I was so bought in. I trusted Coach James. I liked everything that he knew about the game. I liked his perspective on things. I was bought in to his plan, and that's what helped me be so coachable. He could tell me to swing with my back facing the pitcher and a blindfold on, and I would do it. That's how bought in I was. And because of that, I've been able to fail and make and understand what drills work for me and what drills don't work, and maybe what's a feeling I want to avoid at all times and what's a feeling that I want to keep looking for. And that's, I think, what's gotten me to where I am, is I can now coach myself, and I know exactly how I want to feel and what I don't want to feel, and when I am doing something, if it feels right or wrong. And I think that's what's lacking a lot in younger athletes right now, is being able to understand those feelings by themselves. I think they're always looking at their coaches. They're always trying to wait for feedback and understand that you need to start learning things on your own as well. But when I say it's also my biggest weakness, is sometimes in my career, especially, there's times that I could be doing so good, but I'm so focused on changes and trying to be better and better that I change things that maybe I shouldn't have touched at all in that moment. And I think that's what I've learned a lot, especially this past year, is really sitting down with myself and understanding what's my end goal and what feeling am I trying to find right now in my swing, and only focus on that and not try to change everything just because of what I see on Instagram or what I see hitters doing now, or what I see. It's so easy to get caught up in seeing someone also being super successful and then comparing your swings and understanding that it's just completely different, and it's a very easy trap to fall into. And so that's why I say it's my biggest strength, but also my biggest weakness, and finding the fine line and the balance between those two is how I've been able to get to where I am.
Mm. Yeah, that is such a good point, because there's so many hitting gurus now, and it's like, because I remember when Teacher Man was such a big thing, Aaron Judge's hitting coach, I don't know if he still is, but years ago was, and so many people were, like, getting to do, like, I don't know, there's just all these different things they're trying to learn from that, and I agree with you. It's kind of, I think, to separate it is to just to find what it is that you want to be better at, because, I mean, the level that we get to, like, you've gotten here for a reason, so identify what you're good at, identify what you can be better at, and then make that happen. How have you been able to decipher what it is that you are good at and what it is that you think you wanna change?
Trial and error.
Okay.
Lots of failing moments, lots of growth in that. And anytime I talk about the mental side of the game, I love bringing up the fact that our sport is such a failing sport. You fail more than you succeed. It's 80% mental. I believe it's almost 90% mental when you're getting to the highest level, but you fail so many times. And the beautiful thing about our sport, or the part that I'm obsessed with in softball, is that you can fail and fail and fail, but the one time you succeed, that's when everything just clicks and it just brings you back in. And I love I love failing because it allows me to understand where I'm at. If I fail at something, I can understand, okay, why did I fail at this? Did I do it wrong? Is it not the right fit for me? Or do I need to feel something else while doing it? And I think with hitting, you have to fail in order to understand what type of hitter you are and what type of swing you need, because that's the only way you can make changes. If your coach is constantly feeding you pitches down the middle and you're constantly hitting home runs, that's not going to tell you anything about your swing. It's not going to tell you your weak points. It's not going to tell you what pitch you can and can't handle. It's not going to tell you what your swing does in a certain count. You have to be able to fail and do things that are difficult in your swing, especially in the off season. And so I think for me, that's all I do. Is I love trying new things because I want to see, am I going to fail at it? And if so, why? Why am I failing at it? And what can I do again to not fail? at this drill, or maybe understand, is this drill even important for me? And I think that's the beautiful thing about our sport. And I think in order to get to the high level, you have to not love to fail, like I word it, but you have to want to fail and be okay with failing in order to have the success and get to the point where you're trying to get to.
I call it befriending failure. You can't, because so many people shy away from it or don't want to meet it, and you have to become best friends with it to where that is like that best friend that keeps you in check. It's like, yeah, all right, I gotta go meet failure today, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at it like that, like I gotta go meet failure. Why you gotta go meet failure? I just need to learn some things. You know what I mean? If you could like
Exactly.
talk about it that way, it just completely reframes the way you view it versus it being like, oh, I don't want to experience failure. It's like, nah, failure, gotta go have a talk. We gotta have a chat today.
Maybe with some coffee. Yeah, have some coffee time together.
We
Yeah.
gotta talk a little bit. You know what I always thought was interesting? I just remember vividly having, I don't remember when we having to play you or something happened, and we're talking, Coach Serena's talking about just how great of a player Erika Piancastelli is and our game plan to not let you beat us. And it was so, I mean, they're just naming all your stats, all your home runs. I'm like, holy crap. Like, what the heck? This girl's so good. And I think so many people wondered why you stayed at McNeese when you probably could have easily transferred to a Power 5 school, started, and maybe competed for a championship. But the commitment that you had to McNeese, I wanna know more about that, because I think it's so powerful, not only within who you knew as a player and who you knew would help you get better, but also just the fact that this was the program for me, and I don't need to change it, and why you were so steadfast with it.
There are definitely moments in my career that I questioned of, should I stay or should I go somewhere bigger, or go where there's more competition and prove myself there. But it always came down to, at the end of the day, is I wouldn't have had the success that I had if it weren't for these coaches, if it wasn't for this program, if it wasn't for this school. So to me, it was, why would I learn it's almost like, why would I learn so much and take so much from this program and have this program help me in my success and then just leave felt so wrong to me. And I almost had this like loyalty to McNeese of, I wouldn't have been even half the player that I was without these coaches or without these girls and without the structure that we have at McNeese and the small community that we have. And McNeese is such a small school that it was my second family. And I was so far from my family that it was nice to be able to have people that supported us and came to all our games and hosted dinners and helped us in the off season and helped us after training. And in those moments where maybe I was considering leaving, or maybe I was considering like, do I want to go to a top 5 or a bigger school, or do I want to have a bigger school's name on my chest? It was, at the end of the day, I had to really sit with myself and be like, that's not what matters. It's not about the name or the program or going to a top 5 just because everyone thinks you should go to a top 5. It's, where can I learn the most and how can I become the best version of myself on and off the field? And McNeese was that for me. And so I got asked that a lot during season. And there was one time Coach James thought I was leaving. He's like, there's a lot of talk in Lake Charles saying that you're leaving. But for me, it was just the easiest, like, no, McNeese is why I'm good right now. It's why I got to, you are the reason I've been able to unlock so many things in my game and as the woman that I am. And so I wanted to keep staying there and keep learning it and keep being the person that I was in that program. And I still, to this day, believe that leaving would not have solved anything for me. And there's always that what if. There could have been, I could have gotten better. Maybe I would have had more success, but the success and the things that I was learning at McNeese was exactly what I needed at that time and exactly where I needed to be for those 4 years.
I mean, I don't know. There's not much more you could do. Olympics, pro ball, like I'm not really sure there's much else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for those young athletes, because I mean, we talk about all the time how the transfer portal is always huge topic of conversation at the end of the season. And now when there's like a lot less regulations, it's just kind of a lot easier. But for those athletes that are like you, teetering between should I stay or should I go, what would be the advice you would tell them about making that decision?
My biggest advice is it has to come from you and not the voices around you, not your parents, not your teammates, not your fans, not your Instagram followers. It has to come from you, and you have to really sit with yourself and, if need be, write a pros and cons list. But I think there has to be a valid reason for you to want to change and want to leave. And the issue that I'm having right now with the transfer portal is it's gotten too easy for people. And the minute they have a bad day, or maybe they have a slump, or I don't know, maybe they're not getting the playing time that they think they deserve, instead of putting their head down and working harder for it, or maybe finding new ways to figure out how to be better and how to earn that spot, they go straight into the transfer portal and straight into just somewhere else where they could play and get the attention that they think they deserve. But I think the beauty of what college sports was before the transfer portal is you really had to dig deep on the hard days and really work things out and learn about yourself and learn about what you needed at the time. And I think just, the transfer portal to me has just made it way too easy. And there's always going to be the valid, I don't think people need to stay at a school if it's not meant for them. I just don't think that kids nowadays know what it means to be in a school that's meant for you. What is it? The difference between a school that's there to make you grow on and off the field and make you grow as a person, rather than going to a school just so you could be in the starting 9 and compete for a couple extra games. So I think my biggest thing is, it just has to come. It has to be a decision that comes from you, and your reasonings are your reasonings and they make sense to you, then that's when you make your decision. But I think right now there's too many coaches, parents, Instagram, social media things involved that are making people make that decision too quick.
Really check in with yourself and see if this is a decision that's good. Yeah, that's good for you. Yeah, no, I think that when it comes to the transfer portal, being able to do what's best for you, but really check in with yourself and really make sure that the reasons why you're doing it are reasons because you want to benefit yourself as not just a player, but as a person, not just because it got hard. Not just because things got hard.
Not just because things got hard, and not just because social media makes you think that you have to be at a top 10 school to be successful, I think is my biggest thing.
And if there's one person that's a perfect example, that's not the case, it is Erika. Being able to go out, play pro ball, be the top of the league, go to the Olympics. Like there's a path to reaching all the success that you want to reach, even if you don't go to a Power 5.
Exactly. Promise. Pinky
promise.
promise.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to go into the no-fly zone segment, because no matter where you play on the field, we got to turn the field into a no-fly zone. Erika, what would you say is your favorite play you've made in your career?
Recently I made a diving catch in the outfield, had my inner no-fly zone there. Just anything that involves diving, I think, for me, is on defense the most amazing thing you can do. It's just the excitement around it, being able to help your pitcher out, getting dirty, getting full out stretch it's an amazing feeling. And especially when it's in an important part of the game and you've saved your team or saved that inning from getting worse. And it's just, no fly. I always have to tell myself that, thanks to you and Aaliyah.
No fly zone, baby.
No fly
Whether
zone.
she's behind the plate or in the grass, she's gonna help the pitcher, y'all.
You guys actually got off the ground. I still think my toes kind of dragged a little bit, but I try to get
The
some
catch
air.
was made. The catch was made. That's all that matters. What do you feel like is the key to being an elite catcher or an elite outfielder?
Communication is the biggest thing, especially as a catcher. Being able to have good communication with your pitcher, with your teammates, and with your coaching staff. I almost view catching as you're the middleman. You have to translate what the coach wants your pitcher to do, and you have to translate it and try to give it to your pitcher in a way that the pitcher can process it correctly. And so I think having good communication, and that goes with outfield as well, being able to communicate with your fellow outfielders and with your infielders, avoiding collisions, making sure you're in the right spot, making sure you're throwing to the right base. I think communication at the end of the day is key in our whole sport.
Yeah, you gotta communicate. I've had quite a few collisions to know whether it be with the fence or with the other human being. Please talk to me.
Yeah, let me know.
What would you say are your softball icks?
Playing with your pants above your knees is a softball ick for me.
She hates knee cleavage.
I hate knee cleavage. I hate jerseys untucked. I hate ears outside of the visor. When a pitcher really?
Wow, maybe this is like a pitcher catcher thing, because Lily said the same thing. She said her
Right.
ick was having ears outside the visor. I was like, I have to do it. It
I
is
don't
so
know.
uncomfortable
It's
to have them
something
in it.
so maybe some people just can't pull it off. There's an ick on that, and then when pitchers grunt, it kind of gives me an ick. There's a lot of icks in our sport. It's crazy.
Listen, in travel ball, this is before teams like outsourced their team. So there's the Texas Glory. I don't know if you played this same girl. I don't know how old she was. Maybe she was my age and we missed it. But she pitched, and when she grunted, it sounded like she was saying, Ithaca. Please, please. There's someone that's played against her. I know it. And I know they remember it. I will never forget her. But she pitched, and it was like the way she grunted was like, Ithaca. And we were just like, we're playing Ithaca today, y'all. Like, we played them so much, so we knew her.
Like,
I was
how do you
like,
even
wow.
hit? How do you hit? How do you focus and hit
You know,
when someone's doing that?
I honestly block people out when I'm up to bat, so I don't really know what goes on. But like, in the dugout would hear it. And so I'm like, oh my God, she can't be serious. But she's dead. She's dead ass.
And the minute you hear it once, all it takes is you to hear it one time. You'll never unhear it.
No, I'm telling you, shoot, that had to have happened when I was 15, and I will never forget her. I'm well above 15 now, and she is still someone that I will never forget. So, Ithaca, you will remember, girl. Shout out to you if you listen and you played on the Texas Glory in like 2008 or 9, something like that. 10,
That's
11.
funny.
One of those years. That's you, my girl. I'll never forget you. Erika, what would you say is in our sport of failure, as we talk about it, is a part of success. It's not the opposite. So what would you say is your favorite failure that has ultimately led you to some of your biggest successes?
I have two. I have after my sophomore year at McNeese, I had a great freshman year, had an even better sophomore year, and just kept breaking records, and then started my junior year with the biggest slump in my whole career. I think it lasted the first month and a half of season. And I don't know if it was probably a mixture of me getting really caught up in my previous successes and trying to beat that, but not figuring out how to do that in the right way. But I had a slump where I think I was 0 for 50. I was either popping up, striking out, or hitting a ground ball. There was no in between. No walks, no HBPs. There was no on-base percentage happening. And the hardest part for me was I just kept feeling like I was letting my team down. And I just kept feeling like I'm in a position in the lineup, like I'm supposed to be scoring the runs. I'm supposed to be hitting the home runs. I'm the power bat in this lineup. I need to help my team. And I just felt like I wasn't. And all it took was Coach James. He called me over at practice one day, told me to come an hour early, and I'm riding my bike to the field, and he just has 2 chairs set up right on home plate. And he's sitting in one chair and the other chair is empty. And I'm like pulling up in my bike, kind of looking at him sideways, like, is this like an intervention? Like, what are we doing? And he just sits me down, and he's so blunt, but he just has such an honest conversation with me and tells me that no matter if I go 0 for 20 in the next 20 at bats, or if I am 20 for 20, my teammates will still think the same of me because I'm a good teammate, I'm a good person, and I deserve to be on this team. And it's the way he worded it was like, you're never going to let your team down. You're letting yourself down more than anything. And just hearing that from him, and hearing that he still believed in me after I went 0 for 50, like he wasn't moving me in the lineup. He wasn't taking at bats away from me. He believed in me and knew that at some point I was going to get out of it. Just being able to have that person that you look up to and that you respect so much tell you that when you needed to hear it the most, I think that's what helped me really get out of that slump. And then I had a phenomenal junior and senior year. But it's so important to have the right people surround you in those down moments, because again, like we just said, failure is part of success. But if you can't get out of that failure, you're never going to have success. And he was a big reason. And my second was recently, this past year was one of my hardest softball years mentally that I've ever had since I started playing softball. I had a really, really hard year this year, confidence-wise, mental-wise, result-wise, just all in all, just had a horrible year for my standards, or for myself. And I couldn't get out of it. And this year was the longest I've ever been in such a negative space. And now that I am out of it, and now that I am confident and back in a good spot, I kind of just laugh at the situation, as in, I'm glad I went through this year, because now I'll never go through that again. I'll never let myself get to that point again. I know exactly how to get out of it now. I know exactly why I maybe have gotten to that mental state that I was in, and what I need and the people that I need to get out of that. And I always say, if I didn't go through those two scenarios, and there's more, so many more failures that I went through, but if I didn't go through those two specific situations, I would never be the player that I am today. And personally, I don't even think I use Bahamas as an example, but that was the first event that I had after my year, like really, really bad year that I had. That was the first time I felt like myself again, and felt confident, and felt like I was where I needed to be. But I wouldn't have shown up like that if it wasn't for the failure that I went through, if it wasn't for the lessons that I had to learn, and the dark moments that I had to sit with myself and cry and cry and cry, and just be able to just feel it out. And I think that's the best. If there's any advice I have to give to someone that's struggling or failing at that moment in the sport, or going through a slump, it's just write it out, feel it out, and make sure you understand every single emotion that you're feeling, so that when it happens again, because it will happen again, you know exactly how to get yourself out of that.
Beautifully said. I love that. To be able to know how to get yourself out, because it's not as hard the next time. But you have to go through it the first time in order for it to get easy the second. I think
Yeah.
and I feel like we could relate that to just softball. Like you fail, like I think of it in the outfield. A ball that I had to miss that one ball, so I knew what angle to take, what path to do, what reaction to never miss it again. So all these catches that you see me make, it's because I missed it one time. You know what I mean? So you had to have failed that one time in order to have all these successes. And to your point, when you're getting through a hard moment, if you don't allow yourself to go through it, you'll never get through it the next time it comes. And so, Stelli, thank you so much for joining me today on Dropping Diamonds, spreading all your amazing diamonds. You dropped so many gems today.
Thank you. This was an amazing conversation, and it's so motivating to be able to have these conversations, especially with you, someone that I've looked up to. So I'm really thankful to be in this space with you, in this podcast with you, and to be able to just talk softball, and to hear similar experiences, and to be able to just talk about why we do what we do, and why we've done it for so long. So thank you.
Stelli, I love you.
Love you, AJ.
You're the best. Continue to be the idol, the role model. We're gonna be so excited. Wait, how do we cheer for you in Italian?
Forza.
Farza.
Forza.
Okay, but
Yeah.
what if I want to say Stelli's the best? Love you.
Stelli è la migliore. Ti voglio bene.
Stelli all'imore
È la migliore.
è la migliore.
Ti voglio bene.
Ti vallo bene. That.
Yeah, remember that.
Stelli ti vallo bene. Mwah, love you. Oh, thank you guys so much. But she's my bella. I just know that one. Ciao bella. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Let's continue this conversation at Dropping Diamonds Pod. And remember, everyone, our affirmation, go out because today I choose to turn each negative thought into a positive. Good energy is all I have to give. An abundant life I am bound to live. I'll meet you here next week back at the Diamond. Bye for now.